Yeah, I got shit from my old in-laws for this podcast, but oh, wait, we got to do
the intro thing. What episode is this?
35, motherfucker.
35? Episode 35, Somewhat Savants coming at you. God, it's so gay. Somewhat Savants. Cheers.
Cheers.
Take any fucking longer to cheers, please.
Well, in my head, I was like, I'm going to go. I think about like the beat kicking in once we cheers.
That's a dope idea, actually.
We'll do it next time because this is already too much.
Yo, if anyone watches this, let us. I want to know if people like the beat.
Yeah, because that was a pretty last minute find.
No, it's the same beat we've been using.
No, that's a different beat from the original Somewhat Savants
But it's in the same vein, though.
Yeah, I mean, what would you want to do? Switch it up each time?
No, I was just curious.
I don't know what it was. I always did just like having a chill thing, and for some reason now I'm obsessed. We're getting like inside here. You know what? I'm gonna flip.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you all right? Your instinctual posture after doing that was suspect. Sus. Sus as fuck.
They've hijacked the word sus.
Sus.
That used to be, Tyler, the creator, used to say sus, and he used to say swag, like ironically, and now just all these...
You hear sus all the time. You know what's so funny? I never knew what that meant for like the longest time, and I finally put two and two together. It's short for suspect.
Yeah, Tyler used to say it like... That's sus, and I always interpreted it as like bad, like just. But you're right, it is suspect.
Well, there's a dude, this TikToker dude. His name's Brody something. He's got a bunch of followers, but he does this bit, Dr. Sus.
That's pretty funny.
And he's doing the questions to the kid, and he's just like, "Are you allergic to anything?" And it's like the whole deal is his mom's there, and he's like, "No," and he goes, "Are you sexually active?" He's like. Looks at his mom, and she's like, and the doctor's like, "You sure about that?" It's so funny. He goes, "Oh, that's too bad. What a loser."
That's hilarious. I've been in that situation plenty of times.
That's what I mean. Like when you're a kid at the doctor. Oh.
Well, I was fucking 17 at the doctor. No, maybe even older than that. My mom.
Your mom was in the room with you still?
My mom is, I love her to death. And anyone
She's
who knows.
a caretaker.
She was a nurse, but I'm 28 and... We still have the discussion of, do you want me to go with you? Or when we're trying on shoes, where's your toe? Show me where your toe is.
He drinks plenty of fluids, doctor. Plenty of fluids. Eats 3 times a day. I promise.
My mother. We get into it because she's like such a great mom, but at the same time, that pisses me off. I'm like, Mom.
Like, I want a shitty mom.
There's times, well, given all my problems,
I feel you.
I'm like sitting in rehab and all these groups, and the past 5 years of my life has just been therapy. And I hear these horror stories of some parents. I mean, from just abandoning them to like molestation to this real heavy stuff. And I'm sitting here like, well, I had the ideal American childhood, and I'm sitting in here with y'all,
and I'm fucking over it.
Yeah. It's just too much. But then at the same time, I mean, I rely on them. If I didn't have the parents I had, this podcast wouldn't be happening and I'd be homeless. And I think even like the support my mom's given, not just us as a podcast, but especially me over the years, it's definitely the reason I am where I am.
Yeah, and I mean, as smothering as it can be, your mom has been nothing but a blessing for you.
Yes, and I know she definitely looks at you as, even though you've got your parents and your parents do support you in the way that they do, she looks at you as like a second son. So
that's nice.
Well, let's get into the matter at hand.
Free man walking.
The free man walking. We started with last time. I think it's got to be the biggest story in America right now. Kyle Rittenhouse. Verdict, I wanted you to do it with me. I'm going to cut this. Kyle Rittenhouse, verdict, not guilty. I'm not going to cut that, but it's funny.
So stupid.
Dude, I'll put it up here. Zach told me, well, I told you, and I was about to go film with my father, and we went and found, it was supposed to be like this big swarming bee's nest. This is kind of sad, and I'll say this real quick. We go to this semi-trailer, and I was going to film him getting rid of these bees.
Do you guys kill them or rescue them?
Honeybees we rescue, like yellow jackets and stuff, you're out. So, and these were honeybees, but listen, we show up, and it was a semi-trailer that this company had, and we didn't see anything walking up. We put bee suits on, and it was just this little cluster of bees on this plank of wood, just very docile, lethargic, and my dad was like, oh, okay, I guess the queen
is gone,
left, and they were left behind.
Oh, that sucks.
And he was like, what hit me the hardest, he was like, they have no clue what to do with themselves, so they're just going to walk around on this plank of wood till they die. And I was like, that's just so sad to me for some reason.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because I randomly found this bee woman on Instagram or something, and she rescues bees, and she narrates these pretty cool videos of her doing it. And she freaks out when she finds the queen. But she said that they're like kind of like, it's almost like one giant organism, the whole colony rather, than just individual bees doing their own thing. So like when they have the main circuit missing, they're just kind of like, what's the like? They don't have a purpose really to keep it going.
The queen is definitely the brain, and that's a cool way to think about it. Just different. You're the arms, you're the legs. My thought was there's bees, the worker bees that go out, or like scavenger bees that go out in the field to find and pollinate and find stuff, and they came back and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're probably, what happened, guys? And they're all just like, she's gone, Larry. She's gone. We have no purpose in life.
It was sad.
That's terrible. I think if I had to pick a role, I'd be a scavenger bee, so I could get a break from that shit every now and then.
Yeah, the queen's probably a bitch.
Yeah, barking orders left and right. Just be like, where's my pollen?
Sitting on her fat, lazy ass, just get over and do that. I picture her like
mating constantly.
I picture the queen to look like the mom from What's Eating Gilbert Grape, just 700 pounds. Go do that. And then there's always that one Gilbert bee who's, hey, mama, I got some pollen, mama.
Smacks her with her wing.
And then when he flies back onto the plank, mama, mama,
mama. That's
poor bees. So anyways, Kyle Rittenhouse, I was pulling up to do that, and I had some time to kill waiting for him, and instantly I saw just a picture, not guilty verdict, and then sent it to you. I think your exact reaction was, holy shit. And you had seen the video
of his reaction when the head juror read off the verdict. Yeah,
it sounded like, first of all, and this is my ignorance, I didn't realize how many counts there were.
Just 5, I think.
Reading them off, he sat there, and when she started to get to like second to last, and I'm not making fun of him. That's just a direct imitation. His neck. He was trying to hold it in. The poor kid.
It was visceral.
Someone commented, and shout out to all the new fucking subscribers and all and all the comments. Shout out to H.A. Goodman for giving us a shout out, and
shout out to this dude for creating a damn good clip to catch his attention.
Well, we do it together. And honestly, that was right after we had just done a really good podcast together, so I credit that momentum going in, and we need to follow that formula from here on out, kind of. But there was someone, I'm not going to go through and look. I'm so sorry, person. They were like, I'm your 100th subscriber. Do I get anything? And she was. Or he was. I think it was a girl. So shout out to you, 100th subscriber.
Shout out.
Somebody commented, though, Kyle Rittenhouse is, before the verdict, is exhibiting all the symptoms of PTSD. And we had discussed the trauma and everything, but I don't think we pinpointed PTSD specifically, but all watching him reading the verdict or listening to the verdict did for me was reinforce that point where he's getting right to the end and he's trying to hold his blubbers, and then just that release when he was finally done. He fell. Truthfully, I was kind of worried. Like, did he hit his head?
When I saw another angle and he went down into the table. That's what it was. Like, he fell and like did this kind of thing.
Because there was that one angle where he just goes completely
he's out of frame. And I was like, dude, he literally just collapsed. But honestly, not only the trauma of the night, the trauma of the defamation, what people are calling you, the death threats. I was watching an interview with his lawyer yesterday, and he was saying, like, the death threats were so immense. At one point, he just said, I just turned my phone off. Like, it was crazy. And he said, I didn't think it was going to get this big. He said he was getting calls from colleagues that he hasn't talked to in 20 years. And he's just a criminal defense lawyer out of Wisconsin. And it was just crazy. So there's like, the whole thing was traumatizing. But I can tell you what, now that he is free as fuck, he needs to sue the living shit out of every single media organization that said any wrongdoing of whatever they were calling him. Because, I mean, they were saying he was a mass shooter, saying, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I want to say it might have been MSNB fucking C that equated him to like a school shooter.
We've been right next to them working.
I was just talking about that. I was actually telling the
What's
girl.
that bitch's name?
I don't remember. Something with a K.
Yeah, she was like one of their main correspondents that did the traveling.
And she's probably been fired 10 times since.
Yeah, she probably said something wrong.
Zach got us, and here's where I'll give you credit. Zach got us into the Freedom Works, which is an organization that puts on big events.
I don't know what they're doing now. They've been kind of overshadowed.
Yeah, they hosted an event in Cedar Rapids, Iowa for all of the Republican nominees to come and talk and speak. And then
2016 election.
And Zach got us into the press gaggle, which is the pit where
you get to talk to these fuckers.
Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump. He didn't. That was what was funny.
Well, that's why it was so tense, because they're like, we don't know if he's going to come.
I know.
Because he was all pissed at the whole establishment.
Yeah, but he didn't show up. That would have been intense. But we got into, especially front row with the Ben Carson one.
Which you could still see that video if you type in Mornings with Millennials, Ben Carson.
It pops up. That's the first one. That's got a 1,000-something views.
Mm-hmm. Jared asked the question. It was dope. I filmed it.
Yes, you did, and you did a great job. But we're rubbing elbows with MSNBC. Zach's wearing probably similar to what you're wearing now. Maybe
it's just some grungy ass shit.
With the Mornings with Millennials shirt.
Yeah, we had t-shirts. That's right.
And then I was wearing my little red shorts, and here's MSNBC, and this woman was in a pantsuit. And regular guys in regular suits. And dude,
Pelican cases on wheels.
Yeah, the massive cameras. Here's Zach with, I don't even know what we had. It wasn't that camera.
No, what were we filming with? I think a DSLR.
I think you're right.
And we had like a little voice recorder. Guerrilla journalism, baby.
To this day, I don't know where that thing is. Probably with my ex-wife. She probably threw it the fuck out. But the first few candidates that rolled through, I think Santorum, Rick Paul, we got our asses handed to us by MSNBC and CNN.
Oh, yeah, we couldn't get a word in.
And it came down to Ben Carson. And I remember the hot girl from MSNBC was right next to me, and he goes, has anyone not asked a question? And of course, everyone.
The gaggle.
I pushed that lady. She shot me a look, and I said, I have not asked a question yet.
And then he shifts, moves in towards you, and then that's when we both go, fuck, what's our question?
I made it up completely on the spot. Oh, millennials, what do you got to say to them?
We're Mornings with Millennials, so we talk to them. What do you have to say to millennials?
Meanwhile, it was like your aunt and my dad listening, the opposite of millennials. But the relief on that man's face when he finally
didn't get a hard question.
Well, it was not even, it was a good question. It wasn't a hard question.
But it wasn't a gotcha.
Exactly. And
he came in further.
We were fucking pariahs right after that. Because that was the last question with Ben.
And then he left.
And he was the big media guy, I think, at that event.
Well, because he was polling so high, he had Secret Service at the time.
Yeah. And, well, I mean, he was probably also, unless Trump showed up, I'd say Ben Carson, given his book and his story and the historical nature of him running, was probably one of the biggest guys there.
For sure.
To them. So
and he was fresh.
Two little nobodies to get that question in. Their producers probably ripped them a new asshole. Why the fuck did you fucking let them?
You let the guy with the booty shorts ask a question?
That's probably what got that bitch fired.
Probably did get her fired. So, you're done. You're done. You had the floor. You were front and center. And you let Mustache McGee trample you? Oh my God.
It was
epic.
That was one of the more epic moments of my life, and that'll stay on YouTube forever. But I think before we went on that rant,
MSNBC, whatever they said about Rittenhouse.
I want to say they were like comparing him to the Parkland shooter and stuff like that. But now let me ask you this: what does Kyle Rittenhouse do from here? Because regardless, he's a free man, thank God. But his life will never, ever be the same.
Well, he's going to have security, for one, because I actually heard the lawyer saying he already has 24-hour security.
There's people, so many people are threatening this 18-year-old's life.
Actually, I think he's 17. I think I messed that up in the first video.
I thought he was 17 when it happened, and he was 18.
Now he's 18?
But you might be right.
Right.
17 or 18. This teenager.
And another thing, too, a couple of details I wanted to say, too, that I got wrong was he was asked to defend a business there, too. And also, even though he crossed state lines, I guess where he lived is considered almost a suburb of Kenosha. So it's like not even that big a deal.
Okay, so it would be like if you lived in...
Like it actually helped his case more, in my opinion, of like how close. Yeah, it was like 40 minutes away or something, like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's almost like me driving from Winter Garden to Orlando. Type of situation. But what does he do from here? I think he milks them for everything he's got, or everything they've got.
I agree.
Kind of like the dude with the Trump hat kid, the Indian, and he's like, and he's just smiling at him. And they were like, "Look at this pathetic white boy."
Yeah, and all they did. The truth of that story was those kids were on a trip. He was like 14 or 15.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing wrong either. He's just, what do you do?
They approached the kids.
Yeah.
Because they had the hats. And I'm going to tell you this. If I was his age during that time, we went on a Washington, D.C. trip. I got on the bus in 5th grade, and I think I was such a mama's boy and so homesick. I got like stone white, and I got physically ill. And so I had to get off the bus and stay at school for a week while my friends went to D.C. and had fun. And like looking at all they showed us like a slideshow of the pictures on the way back. And I'm like, oh,
you had some FOMO, didn't you?
I could have got some pussy on that trip.
Dude, D.C. is wild.
I went to D.C. on my honeymoon where I did get pussy. My wife. But.
I went to D.C. when I was shooting Mercy Street for a day. Shit was crazy. I was at a fucking 5-story bar club thing that soccer was playing at the time, and it was lit. And I was there for a long time, and I had one friend, and it was just my co-star person. But to the Rittenhouse thing, and the kid who with the Indians, I mean, they're kind of from what I'm seeing, people are suggesting follow the route he did and get a bunch of money, because that dude ended up making a lot of money the defamation lawsuits.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And he's got to get, like, I've already seen the memes where it's like something Sandman. Well, I forget his name.
Yeah. Who is that? I've seen it too.
Yeah, that's the dude with the red hat, the kid.
Oh!
Yeah. So I seen memes where it's like so-and-so's lawyers coming to Rittenhouse, and it's like the Peaky Blinders and shit, get the next phase of milking these stupid establishments. Because I can tell you what people are saying now, dude, people are Look, all I know is that people I really like, Tony Baker, and you know, I toured Tony Baker around Gatorland. He's cool. He put me on his list. I like him. I think he's so funny. But these people are so out of touch. And like the other comedian who's big now, who's in like the movie with Ryan Reynolds, Fun Guy or Free Guy.
Free Guy.
You know what I'm talking about? Black dude who's like super funny. He's got the high-pitched voice. He's like kind of newer. I can't think of his fucking name. They're saying shit like, only in America can you cross state lines with a rifle and just kill people and walk free. Like, that's their narrative. That's literally what they're saying. And they have no details of any of this. They're just blindly going with it, saying some outlandish shit. Some other woman it's on a late night show. She's like, I'm sorry I have to say this, but I'm not surprised. In America, it's just there are systems in place and it's like, okay. And I mean, they're defending two white pedophile, a white pedophile really is what they're doing because that's who he killed. I don't understand this at all.
Lil Rel.
Lil Rel, that's it. Lil Rel, that's him.
Yeah,
and it's a shame, too, because he's funny as shit.
He is very funny. No, I've also seen that.
Open your mind a little bit, bro.
Especially with Tony Baker.
Yeah, he's super vocal on his shit.
I wish he wasn't. I'll spin it this way. I'm grateful he's got the right to be.
Right.
But what they don't understand is they're, in a weird roundabout way, I think they don't realize they're fighting for the side that's really railing against their right or others' right to say what they want to say. And I mean, maybe I'm not making sense. They're siding with the side that I think is most infringing upon free speech and really our right to say what we have to say about it.
Right. Well, I see what you're saying.
Articulate it better for me because I'm an idiot.
The way I see it is I feel sorry for them because they're so blinded by that mainstream, like look at LeBron. Oh. All right, he's a prime example.
Fuck LeBron.
And think about these famous people. They're not looking into this shit. They're not looking into it. They're taking what is said narrative and they're running with it to protect their brand, identity, whatever. And of course, this one is so kind of funny because this is obviously striking a chord with the BLM movement because it was supposedly a BLM, protest. But people got to remember the violence was happening long before this Rittenhouse was there, and all these people can see is just like it was a BLM thing. White dude gun shot people. That's like all that's computing in their mind. You know what I mean? White supremacy. But they're not first off, they're not gonna be willing to look into it to iron out these details. And two, they're not gonna have any interest in doing so because they know, and they might know this deep down, they might even know, they're like, there's probably more to this, but I better not because my brand will be destroyed.
All it is people preserving their own personal brand. And what's ironic is you and I are kind of building our brand on destroying our brand or brands.
I know.
Which I love.
That's the new thing. I hate to say it, but raw honesty and just saying shit how it is, that is what people want. Like, no one wants this fake shit anymore.
No, and there's also fake shit that does go in the other direction where I can see people who are just so blatantly trying to go against the grain and not bringing in any nuance. I hate putting labels on shit, but there's like really ultra conservative people who are just blindly running in the direction of being conservative and not calling out their own party. I mean, Zach and I are affiliated to no party. What do you keep saying? We're not right leaning or left leaning.
No, it's freedom. There's only two options. You're either part of this bullshit or you're not. That's literally it.
And there's people who, on both sides, I would throw Fox News at the head of the charge of leading blindly in a direction that they're not really fully vetting and not really fully understanding. They're just like, oh, this is the way we're supposed to go? Let's just go this way without any nuance, without any thinking.
No, they fan flames. That's why I can't stand Hannity or anyone, because he's just like, the Democrats, blah, 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 the congressional, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, that's what Mitch McConnell, but our Constitution doesn't say, blah, blah. It's like, shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of hearing all this shit. We're beyond all this garbage. You know what I mean? Like, we're going against elite people, global order, way more intense shit. Narratives being pushed with this BLM and all of these weapons to dividing. I mean, like, I don't even see any coming together or anything anymore because they've got people in such a stranglehold on their mind that they can't let it go. And the Fox News, to your point, they're just the classic, like, boomer, enrager. You know, that's all they're doing. They're just keeping that boomer fight or the boomer flames going. Like, yeah, Trump. Like, dude, fuck Trump. Trump's not president. Like, I'm not. It's like we're eyes forward. You know what I mean? Eyes forward. Like, let's go after what's at hand right now. And Rittenhouse trial, if that would have not turned out the way it did, we would have been in serious trouble, because that would have been a big clue and sign that no jury is going to go in the direction of justice. They're going to go in the direction of the mob because they're scared. And that's another thing. That jury, they're put themselves in a lot of danger by doing what was right. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because I could tell you this, if they would have been like guilty, he would have been in prison forever. And that would have been the sign for all of us that's like, well, looks like we're not going to have the right to defend ourselves, because when we go to court, they're just going to lock us up. You know, that's what that would have meant. And we would have been fucked.
I'm looking up now, and and if you know more about this, educate me. We had all thought that a not guilty verdict would have sparked another riot.
Yeah, nothing happened.
I'm looking. I see.
Actually, I have something that did happen.
Well, I'm seeing from The Guardian, Kyle Rittenhouse, Biden accepts verdict as acquittal sparks outrage as it happened. Then from, fuck MSNBC. I was about to read what their thing was. Damn it. Come on. I haven't updated my phone, and they're doing it to me.
Oh, so you can get a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do. They'll bug it.
Kenosha, KenoshaNews.com. Watch now heated reactions outside of courthouse as Rittenhouse verdict drops.
Did you see that girl?
Ironically, look at the picture they show.
Oh, Jesus.
They're just posting a bunch of African-American people, which I think is probably disingenuous, too, because there's probably a lot of other different people out there.
Of course it's disingenuous. Did you see that one black lady who had a seizure?
No.
You got to look this up. I don't know if it's even real. She's out in front of the courthouse. She's got all these dreads, and after the verdict got announced, she's like screaming to the sky. She's like, no, and like her voice is like giving out, and then like she goes to her knees, and then literally right before she lays down, she takes her face mask and goes, whoop, covers her face, lays down, and then goes into convulsions.
So convenient.
And I'm like, really? This is like these are the reactions.
Is it a white lady?
No, it's not.
Oh, because that's just what popped up. Some lady screams "fuck America" right after the.
Yeah,
verdict.
that's it. She's not white.
Oh, she's light skinned. She a red bone.
Stop! This is fun.
Oh, is it really? Watch, just we'll put it up here.
I've been to jail, motherfucker. I ain't scared of shit.
Is she on her knees?
My baby. You want to see a baby at African born? Like slavery, you want to see it? Right here. Right here. You see this? I am a monument. I am a monument. Fuck America.
Guys in the back, do not push. We got people below me.
Oh, that one cut.
Let me get real.
Damn, there's a full one where she goes from like laying down to.
Oh,
And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
that was from freedomnews.tv. I don't know about them, but yeah, that cut. That was fuck America.
I love how she, fuck America. Mask up.
With an American flag.
Fuck America, let me promote it on my face.
The ignorance.
Golly, dude.
But you're right. I will give the city of Kenosha and those in it credit to not burning down that city a second time after that verdict. It does seem...
They want to.
I don't know. I mean, who knows?
The National Guard's standing by.
That's what I'm thinking. So they're not going to let shit like that really fly or go down. Oh, you ever burp and it goes through your nose?
Yeah. Burns. Burns when it's the halai. Halai.
I got to piss.
Yeah, I do too.
So this past weekend, you went to EDC. My mother came to me, speaking of my mother from earlier on.
God, did she go, how dare?
Well, she was like, what is this Electric Daisy that they're talking about? And everyone's dressed up, and they look scary, Jared. They look scary.
There were some. I've never seen more platform shoed bearded ladies in my life. That's all I'll say.
This past weekend, for those who don't know, Zach went to the Electric Daisy Festival.
Yeah, dude, that shit was.
I know, I say it in a country accent to be an idiot, but EDC, a huge, huge staple in the festival world, I'd say. I hear people talk about EDC. I hear people talk about Ultra in Miami.
Ultra apparently is like the mecca for the EDM music here in the States.
And what are some other the major festivals just around the country?
Around the country, well, though you got the mainstream ones, Coachella, Bonnaroo, Lollapalooza.
Fuck them.
But here in Florida, we got, Okeechobee and Halloween. Halloween's our shit. That's one where you get to camp. It's during Halloween weekend.
We've talked about Halloween on here before.
Yeah, and it's not just electric music. It's, there's bands and cool shit there.
That would be what I would go to.
Yeah, it reminds me more of, it's more your hippie style.
That I'm more the hippie style.
The Electric Daisy concert is a rave. Like, let's just say what it is. I mean, it's fun. I mean, dude, guess how many people a day?
How many?
95,000.
Woo!
Over 300,000 over the course of 3 days.
And to give context, you went to this just mere days, hours after we had talked about Astroworld.
I know. But I will say this. So I saw one seizure. We had one person pass out right next to us when we were in this little Bacardi bar area, because Bacardi was a huge sponsor. Coinbase was a sponsor.
Really?
They had an NFT gallery. Liquid Death was a sponsor.
I love
and they
Liquid
had a cool walk-in old type mansion feel thing. You could walk in and get a free Liquid Death and get your photo on an old smile the 50s camera.
Did you drink a Liquid Death?
A bunch of them.
Weren't they great?
Yeah, they're good.
Canned water is the future.
And what's cool is they had one of Tony Hawk's blood skateboards on display there.
Wow.
Because Tony Hawk's sponsored by them too. But anyway, so we're in the Bacardi area because they had the main gigantic stage with the owl, which I gotta say, in person, that shit is impressive. I mean, it is massive. Massive.
It looked very impressive.
And that head turned.
I've
And
got
those pupils dilated. So if you were tripping balls, I feel sorry for you. Because that owl was staring into your soul.
Y'all were pretty straight?
Yeah, we just drank.
Okay.
Getting too old for that shit. Not in the city, man. I can't be doing that shit while in the city. How am I
Yeah.
going to get home? You know what I mean? That's why we like the camping ones, because you can just walk back to your tent. It's cool. You're not going to die driving, and it's just better. So, because as soon as it's over, you're in the concrete jungle, and you're just fuck, and it's lights and
Where in Orlando is it?
Camping World Stadium at Tinker Field. It's right there.
Oh, wow. That is in the heart of the fucking city.
Yeah. And it's right in the ghetto. Because the ghettos, we know how it is west of downtown. It's all ghetto. And so, dude, I remember we were walking up. Oh my God, I feel like it was in a movie. The first day, we spent way too much money on Ubers and shit. So by the time day 2, we're driving. Fuck this. Because there was no Ubers available when it was time to go home. And someone took our cab that I called. It was a nightmare. Oh, and I got my phone stolen. Yeah, I'm sure you saw that on the clip.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Plur is not real anymore.
What is Plur?
Peace, love, unity, and respect.
Oh, God.
It's so gay. I can't stand it. But, that's the whole thing. Plur. Dude, fuck Plur. There ain't no goddamn Plur there. Here's another thing that really pissed me off, too. This was honestly, the whole weekend, this right here is what made me so incredibly angry. You ready for this?
Ready.
We're walking. We're in. It's day 1. And we're kind of just checking out the layout. There's fucking people everywhere getting shoulder checked. There's weird outfits, beards on ladies. It's a fucking freak show. All right?
Okay.
So I'm walking, and we kind of get to where we came in at. And of course, my eyes, shing, I catch some movement. And I see a dog. A little French bulldog.
Cute?
Very cute. In a little vest. Because he's an emotional service animal.
Okay.
And then I look at the owner in her disgusting, barely clothed, ugly body, dressing up for the occasion, and I look at this dog's face because they walked right past me. Me and that dog locked eyes for a minute. And that dog was looking at me, and I was looking at him, and that dog looked traumatized. Because when I tell you how many people were there, you don't bring a dog to this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised that dog got kicked.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't
You're right.
Yeah, this is not a place for that animals. Like, I felt so bad for this dog. Because in my mind, I'm like, emotional support dog, service dog. I mean, you're walking around looking around. What the fuck is the dog there to guide you for? And in my head, I'm like, if you need an emotional support animal to go to a place like EDC, you don't go to EDC or a big concert like that. That poor dog, I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was absolutely exploiting that poor dog. It's loud as fuck. It's bass, rave, drum and bass, techno house. It's nothing but... I mean, it's so loud. We lost our voices trying to talk to each other. And the dog's just, like, looking around at these fucking freak shows.
And especially a tiny dog.
He was about this big. French bulldog.
No, fuck her.
Yeah, that was the thing that made me the most mad. More than losing my phone, getting it stolen. So anyway, night one, we're in the crowd, and, like, we were watching this show, and, like, I had this cool mask that I wanted to wear because it, like, I can program it, and I literally was like, let's go, Brandon. And I'm fucking with the phone because it has an app, right? And we watched a video before this weekend for tips on this show because we knew we've never been. It was a beast. And literally she says, like, theft is a big deal, so make sure you put it in your fanny pack and put it across your shoulders, not around your, like, across. And I'm like, okay. So, you know, what did my dumb ass do? Like, I literally had the phone, and instead of putting it back in out of habit, I put it in my pocket. And we were walking out of the crowd, and we're walking, and I had my sunglasses in there too, so it was two things in my front right pocket. And as we're walking, like this is an event where, like, you do not let go of your other person hand. Like, you will get lost.
Oh, no.
You will get lost. Like, I can't even begin to... The line for Lost and Found was 100 people every day, all times of the show. So we're walking out, and all of a sudden I feel like a slight pressure change in my pocket. I didn't see it. I didn't see anyone do it. I just felt the shift happen. And I go, and I thought it fell out. Like, I thought maybe I didn't have it in all the way. I thought it, like, fell out. So I turned around immediately, and I'm, like, looking around. I'm like, my phone. Like, as we're walking. Like, I felt it. And she's like, what? I'm like, here, let me see your phone. Let's do the flashlight. For 20 minutes, retracing that path over and over and over and over and over. And it's gone. Went to Lost and Found, didn't have it. And I went to Verizon report it lost. But anyway, I went to find my iPhone on our other devices at home, and it was in iDrive by 5 in the morning. iDrive at the Calypso. And then the next day, it found its way to Fort Lauderdale. Now it's back. This is the best part. It's back in Orlando, Pine Hills area.
Rough.
Yeah. So it either got pawned off, sold. I don't even know if the same person has it. He probably sold it already. Long story short, I lost my goddamn phone night one. So I had no phone for the next 2 days, just Sky's phone. And we were roughing it out. And that's when I was like, we are not losing each other. Because if I get lost, I'm not going to be able to find you.
And let me say this. Like I mentioned earlier, we had just talked about Astroworld, where multiple people died.
Yeah.
I text Zach.
Yeah.
And I'm like a fucking scared, paranoid wife. Because, and then I'm going to get a little, not dark, but a little heavy for a second. And I want to talk to you about your stupid ass motorcycle that I don't like. I've already lost a friend to some bullshit when I'm texting you, and there's been times where you've been out of service, or like if I'm out at my parents' house, which just kind of has bad service, the text doesn't go through for an hour or so. I was like a paranoid girlfriend, Zach.
Because they weren't going through, were they?
No, I was texting him. I told you I got the stomach flu, and for y'all to take vitamins or whatever, just another gay wife thing I say to you because I treat you like my wife, and it didn't go through. And then I sent another one like, you okay? Didn't
Not
go
delivered.
through. Not delivered. And I'm sitting there having a panic attack. I was calling my mom, like, Zach's not answering me, this and that. He's dead. My brain goes to the most extreme places. Thank God you had, or Sky had, the wherewithal to message.
That was me. Because I thought of you. I literally was like, can I borrow your phone for a second, Sky? I was like, can you go on Instagram for a second? Let me message fucking the Somewhat Savants account. Motherfucker probably thinks I'm dead.
I did think you were dead.
And I literally told him, like, I got to tell my family real quick because they know we were here.
Yeah. I pictured you taking your motorcycle there, and then someone slipped you acid, and you're like, I can drive.
In oncoming traffic, phone obliterated.
I thought of the worst, and I didn't check that because I had the stomach flu, and I think you sent it to me then, and I just had no interest of checking Instagram. I was just off it. And I don't have a personal. I'm on the Somewhat's account. We both are, but I mean, I check. That's when I want to look at Instagram.
I actually need the logins again.
Asshole. Oh, yeah, that's right. Your phone got stolen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was wondering, I'm like, why isn't he posting stories? Come on, why am I doing everything? I was terrified that you had died because we just talked about Astroworld. You were kind of joking about it, like my wife and I are going to a festival this weekend. Ha ha ha! And you would turn into a meme real quick. Oh, I was so scared, but I mean, praise God.
Well, it was fine. We made it through. Like we weren't fucking, and we didn't get deep into the crowd. Like you should see some of these pictures. I looked at the picture. I'm like,
you should. I looked up some pictures.
It's a lot.
And you showed me pictures. It was creepy how many people were there.
A lot of people. And I will say this. We saw one person pass out right next to us. But the way people were treating passed out people here was a lot different. Like they built like a thing but then again, this was not in the middle of a crowd. I haven't heard anything about anyone dying from this yet. So I mean, they just keep talking about record attendance. But I mean, Who knows? Someone probably would have. Someone might have.
Sometimes, I mean, you had mentioned festivals, people die, typically correlated to a drug overdose. But I mean, that's just sometimes people's time to go. And another thing that freaks me out is like the amount of people that die on cruise ships. And apparently, when someone dies on a cruise ship, I think I've said this before, way early on in an episode.
They throw them overboard?
No, but if someone falls overboard,
I happened to me on my first cruise. Someone jumped off the ship.
Did they turn around and get him?
Yeah, the whole ship stopped in the middle of the night. They had a helicopter looking for him. Drunk, jumped off.
I heard that they leave him and they keep going because they got a schedule to meet.
No, we're
going to Coco Cay, damn it!
They do that if you miss the boat leaving from their stop.
Oh,
but anyway, you're gonna say what happens if someone dies on a ship? I don't know what happens.
They
put them in a freezer.
They've got a 3-body morgue.
Do they really?
They've got a 3-person jail. And
I almost got put in the jail once.
I want to hear that after this. They announce on the thing, I don't know if they say the person's name, but they say, Starlight, Starbright. And that's how you know someone died.
What the? That's fucking eerie.
I don't know if legally they have to tell you or what.
I guess that could happen because, like, what if you, like, took, like, all right, Grandma, your last hoorah.
And she dies in the casino.
And she dies at sea or something.
At the craps table. Why did you almost get put in the jail?
So I went on a cruise with my senior class in...
Say no more. Keep going.
We got kicked out of Senior Frogs that trip, too. Yeah.
Cozumel?
No, in the Bahamas, because we kept jumping from, like, where people were eating into the water, and, like, the little Bahama boat police pulled up. They're like, doo-doo-doo-doo. And they're like, you know, they made us leave, and, like, we were jumping on the back of, like, moving trucks down Nassau Road, and it was bad.
On skateboards?
No, like, we were, like, you know, when you jump a train?
Yeah.
We were doing that with, like, their dump trucks and shit.
Y'all are idiots.
So but here's the thing, we were all, like, 18, 17 years old, because we had just graduated high school. So we got one of the adults to buy us some beer, a bucket of beer, and me and 3 of my friends were just going crazy in the casino with this bucket of beer. Well, the casino people quickly realized, like, these motherfuckers ain't 21. So they apprehended us, and they were basically saying, like, if you don't have a parent or someone come get you right now, we're taking you to turn you over to the sheriff when we dock, and we're going to put you in the jail thing. And we were like, oh, fuck. So we got a hold of one of the chaperones, luckily, and got us out of that situation. But it was like, I felt like it was in Vegas. They were in like black suits, you know, and they're just like, come with us.
They don't fuck around in the cruise ship
No.
days.
I was like, shit.
But back to EDC. Let me ask you this: who was your favorite performer there? What was the highlight of the experience? Obviously, not getting your phone stolen.
Yeah, and it sucks because two people I was really looking forward to seeing were after that phone got stolen. We actually were just like, fuck it, the buzzkill. Let's leave. Damn, that's tough. I don't know. Dabbin was really good because it was like kind of made you in the feels of like, oh, like, have you ever seen that movie XOXO on Netflix?
No.
That stupid festival. It's got Crystalia in it. It's super cheesy. But it's an entertaining movie. That kind of music that they play in that movie was kind of like how Dabbin was. So you're just kind of like, oh, it was like very, you know, like epic festival type music. The Owl stage was all fucking house and like doom, 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 like the biggest artists like Kygo and Alan Walker and all these people, like the UK famous people. I know you don't know, but and I don't know them. I'm like, I learned a lot from going. Like, who the fuck? Why is this person so big? And then you find out they're from the UK and they're like some crazy DJ that blew up there, and them doing a show here is like a big deal. So none of the Owl stage was the favorite. It was the probably fucking, you know, like who we like, Subtronics and Excision, the hard dubstep shit.
Yeah.
Those were our favorites.
When you sent me,
Oh, AT Aliens. They're our favorite.
oh, okay,
They're a duo, and they wear these alien masks. They don't talk.
are they from Atlanta?
Yeah, I think they are from Atlanta,
Okay,
actually.
they have to be if that's their name. Shout out to Outcast, good album. The Owl. What to the festival was the significance of the owl? Just to look badass?
No,
or-
that's like their mascot, because they call them owl passes, the tickets. So it's like the EDC owl. It's like their thing. So
Okay.
maybe you're right. Maybe they are subconsciously making us worship the fucking shit. I can tell you right now, though, I'm not easy to succumb to that. I just look at him like, damn, that's a big ass owl. That's cool.
That's a big ass owl.
That's a thick boy.
Here's what worried me, Zachary. Alex Jones back in, I think, the mid to late 90s, maybe early 2000s. And this is a little education for those who don't know. Alex Jones, obviously a conspiracy guy, runs InfoWars News, very polarizing in today's world.
I love him.
I love him too.
He's so great. I want to do something with him before he's gone.
We will. He made his bones early on when he was like, he wasn't even friends with Joe Rogan at this point. Him and Joe Rogan got arrested protesting George Bush during the 2000 election. They ran around in George Bush masks.
I forget they're way back like that.
They're way, way back. 20 plus years back. And this was before that. So that makes me think it's the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, because this was after the story I told you about his grandfather, like right when he was on the up and up and he was really hitting these fuckers hard.
He snuck into, after he had caught wind of this organization, like a Skull and Bones type of deal, called the Bohemian Grove. And what Bohemian Grove is, all the rich, and when I say rich, I mean billionaire, super rich, bankers, politicians, people from, I don't think these people were there, but it would be like Google and Zuckerberg.
Elite of elites.
The elite of the elite. I'm not saying Zuckerberg and Google were there at this time. They probably have gone since.
Fuck him, though. Fuck him.
I know.
Yeah.
But there's all the elites gather at this like resort type thing in the middle of the woods, and I don't know where, to be honest. And it's called the Bohemian Grove. And Alex Jones snuck in, and what they were doing was performing some kind of ceremony. And I'm going to butcher this too. There's so much more to this than I'm remembering right now.
And I know what you're talking about because I saw the video of him confronting someone about it after he busted it.
He went there with John Ronson, the man who wrote and then eventually had a movie made of The Men Who Stare at Goats. Remember that movie?
Mm-mm.
It was Brad Pitt was in it, and Burn After
Reading.
I don't know if that's the same guy, but I always correlate the two. The Men Who Stare at Goats was about like a secret government program where these guys were trying to like use mental things to kill goats so they could eventually go into the military and use like mental things to kill people.
Okay.
A lot of military Area 51 type of conspiracy stuff. He went with the guy who wrote that book, John Ronson. Look him up. Amazing author, amazing podcast guest on Joe Rogan twice, maybe 3 times at this point. And they snuck into this secret society organization where he saw politicians. Ronald Reagan was seen there. Nixon was seen there. Not during when Alex went, but I'm saying previous.
Yeah. Eyewitness account.
And Alex got a video, and they were worshiping this giant. Everyone would like put on these hoods. Bankers, elites.
What is with these people in hoods?
They were worshiping what was looked at and called Moloch the owl god. And it was this giant wooden effigy of an owl.
Did it look like my owl?
Your owl was more impressive.
Okay.
And like way more technical. I don't think the head moved on this owl or the pupils dilated. But I want to say alongside the owl, there were like little effigies, like a statue made out of wood, or a likeness of children, little kids, and like little kids' coffins being, I don't know if kids were in them, and they would burn it. They would burn the kid effigies, and they would worship it. Politicians, Nixon, Reagan, bankers, those who run the world are doing this weird shit in the middle of the fucking woods.
Yeah, dude.
On video, not a conspiracy. It happened.
Why do you think Old Man Joe is so creepy with kids? I'm telling you, there is something about this pedophile ring. There's more to it. These fuckers are sick. They're sick. And I want to know more. We got to look into this more. But Alex Jones, he's seen it firsthand. So, like, that's why I'm like, I don't discredit this shit, you know? And when he approached that guy, there's a video of him approaching a guy and confronting him about it, and the guy getting mad.
Yep.
And I remember he was like, or what did he say exactly? He's like, how dare you? Like, how can I, what did he say?
He went and talked to some guy. And he's like, it's a gentleman's club, and you're not invited there, and it's a secret for a reason. Or
yeah, he's like, you shouldn't have been there. Why the fact that you were there? Well, he was getting way defensive on it. How did he sneak in?
I really don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch. I want to say he was so under the radar at that point. He
probably passes one of them.
Yeah, exactly. I think he just dressed normal. I think he stayed very low key, and just somehow was able to get in and walked around. And he still to this day wouldn't. And he released a whole DVD on it, so it's not like he's making this up. And he got a lot of shit for this. So he would walk around and I guess just tried to blend in. And automatically when I saw that fucking owl at the EDC, I think about that experience and I'm like, ooh. No, everyone's looking at that owl probably the way you're looking at it. Wow, that's cool.
Well, instead of by the owl, it wasn't little kids or anything. It was just half naked women doing fucking crazy shit with like ribbons and stuff.
It's just weird. I want to end with this. I just got a phone call too, and I'm sorry for those who heard my little ringer. I didn't think it would go off.
Oh, god damn it. I just spilled beer on my shirt.
Water. Spilt water on your shirt.
Whatever. Who called?
Caleb.
Oh, nice.
I'll answer him in a minute. I sent you this and you were sleeping. You need your sleep because you have your little... You got sick from that fucking thing too. COVID, actually. Zach's COVID positive right now.
No, like...
That was a pretty stupid thing to say of me.
I beat it.
You beat it. He's not. He got a sinus infection.
It's COVID.
This just creeped me out via CNN.com.
Kamala?
Harris to become the first woman with presidential power while Biden is under anesthesia for a routine colonoscopy.
God, you know how bad she wishes she could have gotten to that surgical room and been like, night, night, Joe. Put a needle in his neck. I'm the president now.
Or just take the little colon.
She starts cackling.
I'd imagine her taking the little colon scope and just giving him a little pain before he died.
Right? Like straight up in there, little internal bleeding.
And you know what, Zach? He's so full of shit. Who knows what they found in that colonoscopy? I want to get a colonic. Where they like shove the water up your ass and everything comes
like
out.
spray out?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm worried.
You should do that with beer and see how drunk you get.
I've done that. I've butt chugged.
Hey, real quick.
I butt chugged opiates before. I crushed up a bunch of opiates and I put them in a very cleaned out sriracha bottle, you know, with a little tip. And I got like this, and I just went, you get pretty high.
That's hilarious.
On my honeymoon, I did that.
You're like, honey, I'll be right out.
I'm such a bad man.
Can you pass me the sriracha real quick?
Why do you need it? It's getting spicy in here.
It helps with diarrhea. Yo, so did you see the video of Joe? Real quick.
Looking for ice cream?
No, the video that just came out of him and that kid and Kamala like pushing the kid towards him. Yeah, so there's this kid. He's in like a red shirt. He's got a mask on, of course. And he's like, Joe Biden's like getting ready to sign something. He like turns and he like sees the kid. He goes, hey, how you doing? Grabs his arm. And he's like stroking his arm. He goes, you doing okay? And then like Kamala's like inching him forward. And the kid's like, yeah. He's like, okay. And
My God.
And he goes, why don't you stick around? I'll show you around the White House after this.
Are you?
No, it's a video. It's out there. It's creepy as shit.
I'll put it up. Oh, I hate it.
So, yeah. So, Bohemian Grove. I mean, this is some demonic evil shit. Like, this dude, oh my God. When I have kids, bro, they won't be going anywhere near any government-funded education things. I don't give a fuck. I don't where I'm going to find the money to make sure they go to a private school. I have no clue.
Please watch the podcast.
Yes, but it's happening. They are not going to near any of this. But long story, whatever.
Long story short, here's a story.
And also too, speaking of elites, you know who's really pissing me off now too? The Rock.
No,
He was sick of The Rock, bro.
He was so conservative.
No, he endorsed Sleepy Joe at the time.
Are you joking?
You didn't see that?
No.
He literally came out with a video and he was like, I think the best decision is Joe Biden. But anyway, here's what my point is though. Here's why I'm mad. Because he just came out with this stupid video, and of course he has this stupid videos where he comes up to the Hollywood tour buses with all the fans. And he's like, he calls himself Dwanta Claus. You look like this Korean dude who I follow who keeps snakes, and he's super strange.
Hey.
So he goes to one of those tour buses and he's like, hey, everyone, I'm going to give you a Samsung TV. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you that. And they're like, oh my God. And like, this is the first Hollywood tour I've ever done. It's the best one ever. Because The Rock came and gave him a bunch of free shit, right? Which is cool. And then at the end he goes, and you're going to be my guest at Red Notice premiere tonight. See you on the red carpet. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay. I was like, there's got to be a catch. There's no way they're walking that red carpet. So anyway, the video like is all cut up. And at the very end, you can see like the people from the tour bus. They're behind a thing. But they're in like this like stand area. And he's like getting a picture with them. He's on the red carpet. And they're off to the side. But here's what made me so mad. Here it is. Right when I saw it, I'm like, of course. So on the bus, they're not wearing their masks. They're on a tour bus or whatever. That red carpet, everyone who was on that bus was muzzled, except The Rock. And that right there is what they think of us.
Mm.
These elites, these Bohemian Grove fucks, these Bidens and Kamalas, masks for thee, but not for me. Oh God, it is a class system, bro. And that is what, the whole point of all this shit is to fight these people. Those people. I think they know better.
The shit's creepy.
But anyway, The Rock pissed me off.
I used to love The Rock.
Yeah, I mean, he's not interesting anymore. It's like, okay, what else are you going to dominate? What other industry?
So what you're saying is you don't smell what The Rock is cooking?
Not anymore.
Or
because guess what? His shit is burnt. It's been in the oven for too long.
That was good. I kind of want to end with that.
All right.
I love it.